What's going on, guys? It is Panjano here, and today I'm going to bring you guys the 2020 ARK Survival Evolved Ultimate FPS Increase Guide. This video is going to be helping you achieve the very best FPS possible regardless of your system specs. Whether you're running on an old, dated potato laptop all the way up to the latest and greatest in gaming hardware, this video is going to help you guys achieve the very best gameplay experience possible, helping you boost overall FPS, reduce stuttering, reduce lag. Please do like on the videos, it helps me out tremendously. And speaking of results, please do post yours in that comment section down below, as it's always fantastic to hear from you guys, alongside any other suggestions for content you'd like to see come to the channel, and any other tips or tricks for FPS boosts that I might have skipped over in this video. And last but not least, if you guys do enjoy this content, please do consider pressing the subscription button and the bell notification to be notified instantly of whenever a video goes live on my channel. So to kick things off, first of all, what we're going to be doing is actually navigating into the description down below, where you'll be finding two download links. Try out the first download link. If that doesn't work, try out the second download link, and we're going to be downloading the provided FPS increase pack just like so. Go to the download link, download the pack, place it onto your desktop, and you'll then be given the ARK 2020 FPS by Panj pack. To open up this pack, it's very simple. Simply go ahead and right click on the file, then select the option for extract here. If you do not see the option for extract here, you'll need to take yourself over to Google and either install WinRAR or 7-zip, come back to the file you previously downloaded, right click, and then select the option for extract here. Once you guys have done that, you'll then be met with a folder on your desktop with an identical name. Now once you guys have got the pack downloaded, before we jump into the first optimization, it's actually incredibly important at this point in the video to quickly set up one preparation step, and that is to actually set up a system restore point. It takes around about 10 to 20 seconds or so to set one of these up. This simply allows you to revert any of the changes we're about to make with a few clicks of a button easily and safely to ensure that you guys can test out these optimizations and see if they're worthwhile keeping. Take yourself to the bottom left hand side, click on the Windows key. We're then going to type in system space restore just like so, then click on the option for create a restore point. Once this opens up, go to the system protection tab found here at the top, go down to the available drives, use the scroll menu and find the local disk C drive, go to the right hand side, click on configure, make sure that turn on system protection is checked here at the top, drag this slider down here to run about 5%, press apply, press OK. Once you guys have done that, once again we're going to be highlighting the C drive again, this time going down to the create button, and we're going to be naming the restore point something we can remember, so we'll just call this ARK Restore just like so, and then press create. After a few short moments, the system restore point will then be created, and from this point on in the video you can simply revert every single change you're about to make simply and easily with a few clicks of a button by using that system restore point at any time. For the first optimization, what we're going to be doing is actually ensuring that we're running optimizations to the ARK application or exe itself. To apply this optimization, we need to navigate into the installation directory of ARK, so the easiest way to navigate to this folder for everyone is to simply boot into the Epic Games launcher, take yourself over to your library, and actually boot into ARK. Once you've booted into ARK and you're at the main menu, simply go ahead and press Alt and Tab, keep the game open, and what we're going to be doing is navigating down to our Windows bar, right clicking on the Windows bar like so, and opening up Task Manager. Once you guys have done this, go to the Processes tab like so, click on CPU, and we're going to be looking for the Shooter Game application. This can also be called ARK or ARK Survival Evolved, but simply look for the small ARK logo, click on the drop down menu, go to where it says Shooter Game, right click and select Open File Location. This will bring you directly into the ARK installation directory, regardless of where it is installed on your PC. Once you guys are inside of this folder, keep the folder open, go back inside of the game and exit out. Once you guys have quit out of the game and the installation directory is open, what we're going to be doing is scrolling down until we find the ARK EGS launcher. So if you're not using the Epic Games version, you will not be seeing this here, but if you are, right click, select Properties, go to the Compatibility tab, ensure that you've disabled full screen optimizations, click change high DPI, override the high DPI scaling behavior, press OK, apply and OK. We're then going to proceed to apply that same optimization to all of the other EXEs within inside of here, so going down to Shooter Game, right clicking, Properties, Compatibility, disable full screen, override high DPI, OK, apply and OK. And again for the BattleEye installation, we can then go ahead and actually exit out the ARK Survival Evolved folder, as that optimization has been completed. Also, for those of you who are using Steam to play the game, make sure that you do go inside of Steam, right click on ARK, go to Properties once again. Make sure that you disable the Steam overlay whilst inside of the game. If you do not need this feature, do make sure that you uncheck it. If you also do not use controllers whilst playing, you just use a simple mouse and keyboard, also disable these options found here, set the input per game setting to forced off, and use BPM forced off as well. Once you guys have done that, go ahead and click close. Moving on from there, we can then apply a quick optimization to all Windows 10 PCs, regardless of the system specs. If you're running on a relatively new version of Windows 10, it's incredibly important to make sure that this setting is set up properly. To navigate Navigate to the bottom left hand side, click on the Windows key, type in game space mode, click where it says game mode settings, make sure that game mode with inside of here is turned to the on position, then go down to game bar, record game clips, screenshots and broadcast using game bar, make sure that option is switched off. This will disable the Xbox DVR options, so if you do use that option, make sure that you do come back with inside of here and actually turn this back on. But for the most part, most people already use different DVR software or don't record whatsoever, so if you're one of those people and you don't use this feature already, do turn this off as well. Another similar optimization for those of you running on the latest version of Windows, which is currently 2004 and above. If you are running on this version of Windows, you will be able to apply this optimization. Take yourself to the bottom left hand side, click on the Windows key, type in GPU settings just like so, then click on the GPU settings tab. Then with inside of here we're going to be looking for the hardware accelerated GPU scheduling option. This option will typically need you to be running on the latest graphics card drivers for your PC, so if you're not entirely sure or you're not seeing this option available and you are running on the latest version of Windows, do stick around inside of this video as I will be showing you guys later on how to successfully update your graphics card drivers and optimize them. So do stick around inside of this video and come back to this option later on. If you do have the option available for you now, do make sure that you do go ahead and enable this option just like so by switching it on. Once the option is enabled, go ahead and exit out. And we can then apply a further fix to disabling Windows built-in optimizations towards ARK itself by navigating to the bottom left hand side and typing in regedit just like so, then going ahead and pressing enter. And you'll then be brought inside of the Windows registry editor. To start off, we're going to be going down to H-key current user, double clicking on the folder, scrolling down to the system folder, double clicking again, going down to the game config store folder, going into the children folder. Inside of the children folder, you'll then be seeing a ton of folders with random file names. What we're simply going to be doing is we're going to be looking for the ARK folder within inside of here. To find this, it's very simple and easy to do. Go to the children folder at the top, right click and select find. Then what we're going to be doing is simply typing in ARK, clicking on find next, and then a folder will then be highlighted on the left hand side. Go ahead and click on the highlighted folder, then on the right hand side do a double check where it says matched exe full path, and again you should be seeing ARK Survival Evolved in here. What we're going to be doing is going over to the highlighted folder, right clicking and starting off by clicking on export. Simply call this ARK default and save this to your desktop. The only reason we've actually saved this to the desktop is we're going to be deleting this folder with inside of here, and this is just a quick simple backup in which we can use if we wish to get this back with inside of the Windows directory. All you'll need to do is double click on this file, select yes, and this will then be automatically added back to the registry, no questions asked. So now that we've successfully created a backup, if we wish to use it in the future, go back over to the folder this time, right click, and then select delete. Once you guys have done that, we can then go ahead and exit out the Windows registry editor as that optimization has been successfully applied. This now brings us over to the nitty gritty optimizations with inside of this video, and to apply these we're going to be starting off by going inside of the FPS increase pack provided by double clicking, going inside of the optimizations folder, and going into the reg optimization fixes folder. With inside of here you're going to be seeing a plethora of optimizations for the registry in which we can simply enable by double clicking them, and they will automatically be applied to the registry. This is completely safe and easy to do, and if for any reason you wish to revert any of these files back to the default setting, you'll simply navigate inside of the default reg files to revert to stock folder, and again you'll start by double clicking and enabling all of these from top to bottom, and this will revert the settings back to the default values. Assuming that we're not going to be doing that here, we're going to be going back a folder and starting off with disable DVR1, selecting this option, yes, yes and OK, disable DVR2, yes, yes. Last but not least, you'll then be met with the low to medium end and the medium to high end optimization. For the best results with inside of it, it's recommended to click the optimization which best matches the system specs in which you are using. For me, I'm recording this video on my high-end gaming PC, so I'm going to be going with medium to high, selecting that optimization, once again, yes, yes, apply and OK. Once you guys are done with inside of there, all of our Windows registry edits have then successfully been applied. This now leads us on to a relatively quick, simple and effective optimization. This optimization alone has fixed around about 60% of people's stuttering altogether. For this optimization, we're actually going to be optimizing the Windows power plan. It's very simple and easy to do. Navigate to the bottom left hand side, this time typing in power space plan, just like so, then clicking on the edit power plan option that comes up. Go to the top navigation bar and click where it says power options. With inside of here, we're then going to be going down to the show additional power plans, and we're going to be looking for the ultimate performance power plan. If you've never applied this optimization before, don't panic, you will not be seeing the ultimate performance power plan, as this is a secret power plan in which we can enable with inside of Windows to unlock the best performance possible. This is completely safe, doesn't void any warranties or increase any heat. If at any point you want to come back to your normal power plan, you can either select high performance or balanced at any time, and you can switch that power plan off just like that. For now, what we're going to be doing is simply minimizing out other power options, going inside of the FPS increase pack, going into the command text document, and starting off by copying this entire command found here at the top. Make sure that you got it all copied, select copy, exit out, minimize the FPS pack, go to the bottom left hand side, click on the Windows key, this time typing in CMD just like so, right clicking on command prompt and running this as an administrator. If you do not run the command prompt as administrator, this command will not be recognized and nothing will happen. Once you guys are inside of the CMD running as admin, go ahead and press Ctrl and then V on your keyboard. This will then paste in the command, go ahead and press enter. You'll then be met with the Power Scheme GUID Ultimate Performance Power Plan, just like so. Once you see this message, exit out of the CMD, go back into the power options from which we minimized earlier, go to the navigation bar found here at the top, click refresh, scroll right down to the bottom, and you should then be seeing the Ultimate Performance Power Plan. To enable the power plan, go over to the flicker switch next to it, select the option, and you're now successfully running on the Ultimate Performance Power Plan with inside of Windows. You can then go ahead and exit out and use that power plan for the foreseeable future, and if you do run into any issues, just go back with inside of there, try out the high performance power plan built with inside of Windows and see how you get on with that. But for most people watching this video, you should be seeing phenomenal results from using that power plan. For the next optimization, what we're going to be doing is navigating inside of the FPS increase pack provided once again, this time going inside of the optimizations folder and going inside of ARK Survival Process. With inside of here, you'll then be met with 3 keys. Selecting any of these keys found here will set the priority instantly with inside of Windows whenever the game is booted. If you select the high priority key found here, ARK will then be booted into high priority mode with inside of Windows, being allocated more resources. For most people watching this video, you should be seeing the best results by going with high priority, and if you wish to revert this back, go back to normal. Go ahead and click on the key which is recommended for you. Again, high priority should be recommended for everyone, so double click, select yes, yes, and OK, and you're then good to go. Before booting into the game, we need to ensure that we're running the game in the correct mode for this FPS increase guide to ensure that we're getting the best results possible. For you guys running on the Steam version, to do this, what you'll be doing is just simply going over to ARK, going ahead and pressing play. We're always going to be selecting the option for Launch ARK Extreme Low Memory. Even if you're running on an ultra high-end gaming PC like I am, all the way down to a old potato laptop, you should definitely be running this option as it removes some of the visual clutter with inside of the game, and we can further up our in-game settings to balance out the visual loss we're about to receive from using this option to have a much better looking game that runs a lot better using higher settings and achieving the best FPS possible. At this point, what you'll then go ahead and do is go down to play. For those of you running on the Epic Games Store, it's a very similar and easy process to apply. Go to Library. Instead of going to the launch option found here, you'll simply go over to the 3 dots found here next to it, and again go down to the Launch ARK Extreme Low Memory mode. Click the option and ARK will then be booted in the mode available. Once you guys have booted into the game, before we jump into the settings options, it's actually incredibly important that we boot into a single player world to 1, make sure that the game still works perfectly, and 2, it allows us to change the settings whilst inside of the game to see what they do in real time. So to do this, navigate to the left hand side to host/local and just go down to play single player found here. This will then start up a single player world. Upon booting into the game, turn around and try and find a decent location where you can see close textures and far textures just like so. At this point, what we're then going to be going ahead and doing is pressing escape, going to options, and we're going to be starting off with our video options. To start off with inside of here, we're going to be going down to resolution. Resolution should be set to the max option available for you, which should match your monitor's native resolution. For me, that's going to be 2560 by 1440. Alternatively, if you're looking for the very best FPS possible on ultra low end hardware and your only focus is to actually get in and play the game, you don't care how the game looks, you could set this all the way down to 640 by 480, and you can pair this with the resolution scale option found here, drag this down, and this will actually render even lower than 480p found here. The game will look absolutely terrible, but for those wanting to just boot into the game and play the game, you don't care how it looks, or you're looking to get a farm account or something, that is the easiest way to go about getting the best FPS. For me, I'm going to be setting this to my monitor's native resolution, which is going to be 2560 by 1440. This now brings us down to window mode. What I recommend doing is setting this to full screen, seeing what your FPS is with full screen enabled, coming back with inside of here, going to the drop down menu and trying out windowed full screen, applying that setting and seeing how your FPS changes. This now brings us down to the resolution scale option. With inside of here, this is going to be a last resort after all of the optimizations are complete with inside of here and all of our settings are set. We're going to be coming back with inside of here and changing this option later on, as this can really help us achieve the best FPS possible and meet a good visual balance. While tile buffers are going to be set to low for everyone, visual distance is going to be set to match your system spec. If you're on a medium end system, set it to medium. Anti-aliasing should be set to low for everyone, but if you really don't like how jaggy and sharp the game looks, set this to medium at the highest. General shadow should be set to low for the best FPS, or medium if you want a good visual balance. Terrain shadow should also be switched to low for the best FPS, or medium for the highest setting. Textures should also be matched to your system spec. Once again, I'm going to be going with high. Sky quality should be set all the way down to the lowest. Ground clutter density. This should be set all the way down to the lowest if you want the best FPS. Otherwise, set this to about the 40% mark found here, just like so, for ground clutter density, and distance if you want to keep a good visual balance and keep some of the clutter at a longer distance. High quality anisotropic filtering should be enabled for high-end PCs. The following options should be disabled for everyone. Motion blur should be disabled, film grain disabled, distance field ambient occlusion disabled, screen space ambient occlusion can be enabled if you wish to have a great looking game, but this will take away from FPS slightly. so I'd recommend keeping it off. Dynamic tessellation should be switched off. Distance field shadowing should be switched off. High quality materials can be enabled for higher end PCs if you want to keep a fantastic visual fidelity, but again this does cost FPS. Subsurface scattering can also be enabled for better visual fidelity, but for my recommended settings, keeping this off is recommended. High quality VFX should be disabled for everyone. Simple distance character movement should be enabled for everyone looking for the best FPS possible. High quality LODs should be enabled for medium end to high end PCs only. Extra level streaming distance should be enabled for medium to high end PCs only. Color grading should be disabled unless you like to use it. This does not really affect FPS, so it's personal preference. Light bloom can be enabled for higher end PCs. Light shaft can be enabled for medium to high end PCs, and low quality level streaming should be enabled. Do bear in mind that you can also change your camera FOV found here on the right hand side, and I recommend setting that higher than the default value. Once you guys have got all of that set up, go ahead and press the apply button. Again, your game might need to be restarted after changing some of those if they were enabled for the settings to be applied. What you can then go ahead and do is simply exit out, go to resume, and you can then go ahead and look around inside of the world and see what the game looks like. If at this point you are not happy with your overall FPS, do bear in mind in a multiplayer server you could be getting higher FPS than this, but if you do want to get further boosts, go ahead and press escape, go to options, go down to the resolution scale option and start off by setting this to about 90%. Go ahead and press the apply button on the top right hand side, go back inside of the game, and if you don't mind how the game looks, you'll notice that me applying the option alone has boosted my FPS by around about 10 to 20 in some cases, and I'm now actually achieving up to 185 FPS just by changing that setting down ever so slightly. It's a fantastic tool to use at the end of all of your optimizations to further fine tune the balance of FPS and visual fidelity. If you want more FPS, go back into the options, go back to the option found here, drag this down even more, press apply. Once you guys have got all of the visual settings fine balanced for your PC which you're happy to stick with, go back to the options menu, this time go up to this menu found here at the top, and come down to the option found here in the middle menu all the way down at the bottom to low quality animations and ensure this is checked. For the other options available with inside of here, feel free to change these or set these to however you wish to do so as their personal preference and do not affect FPS, but can fine tune the game to be better for you. Once you guys are done with inside of there, go ahead and press the apply button, press save, go ahead and press resume, and we're then good to go. We're now going to install our 2020 optimized launch options for ARK. To do this, what we're going to be doing is navigating into the FPS increase pack provided, going inside of the launch options text document found here at the main page. There is a slight change we need to make with inside of here depending on your system specs. This number here needs to be set to your maximum number of CPU cores on your CPU. To find this out, it's very simple and easy to do. Go to the bottom side, right click on your taskbar, open up Task Manager. With inside of it, go to the Performance tab found here at the top, click on CPU, and we're going to be looking for cores and logical processors. Whatever the number of logical processors you have is what you're going to be setting to -preferred processor found here. So for me, as you can see, I have 16 logical processors, so I'm going to be setting 16. Once that's then been set, we can then go ahead and copy all the launch options with inside of here. Select copy like so, exit out, click on save. We're then going to be going inside of Steam or Epic Games. First of all, for Steam users, open up Steam, right click on ARK, go to properties, go down to set launch options found here, then go ahead and simply Control V the options with inside of there, paste them in just like so, and press OK and close. For those running on the Epic Games launcher, it's a very similar process. Open up the Epic Games launcher, go down to settings in the bottom left hand side, scroll all the way down, click on the ARK Survival Evolved drop down menu, go down to the option for additional command line arguments. Check this. If you have anything with inside of here already, make sure that you do remove it. Once the box is empty, press Ctrl and V once again, then go ahead and click on that drop down menu, go back to settings, and you've then successfully installed your 2020 launch options. Navigate inside of the FPS increase pack provided, this time going inside of the configs folder. With inside of here, you'll simply click on the folder which best matches the system specs and desired FPS or experience you're looking for. For me, I'm going to be installing the recommended config, which offers a fantastic FPS boost and minimal visual loss. So I'm going to be going inside of the recommended folder. You'll then be met with an engine, game user settings, and scalability file. There may be more or less files with inside of here whilst I finalise the files before releasing them, but all of the files with inside of this folder, highlight and select all of them, drag this over to the right hand side, and we're then going to be going back inside of the installation directory for ARK, in which we were inside of earlier on. Once inside of the installation directory, go inside of the shooter game folder, go inside of saved, config, Windows no editor, and what we're going to be doing is simply going over to the right hand side and simply highlighting and dragging over all of the files from the right hand side optimized folder into our game installation directory folder on the left hand side, dropping and selecting replace the files inside of this destination, and we've then successfully installed our optimized 2020 configs for ARK. We can then go ahead and exit out of both of those options. This now brings us on to the point in the video where we're actually going to be booting into the game to finalize and optimize our in-game settings to fine tune them for the desired FPS boost and visual fidelity balance we're looking to to get. Before doing this, I'm going to be giving you guys a very quick optimization for you guys running on a laptop. To do this, it's recommended to have a HDMI plugged into the laptop, or whichever display out you have available in the laptop, have it plugged into an external monitor. Then what you'll simply do is follow the on-screen directions found here to disable the laptop screen, so the laptop screen is completely blacked out, and the laptop is then completely displayed on a second monitor. You will find that you will be getting better FPS using this step on almost every single laptop out there. Now for a final few optimizations for most of you watching this video, we're going to be applying an optimization to Discord. Make sure that you do apply this optimization. There is absolutely no downsides to it. This will not slow down Discord or change Discord in any way, but can free up resources and help stuttering. So to apply this optimization, open up into Discord, navigate to the bottom left hand side to your user settings cog. Once you guys have clicked on that, scroll down on the left hand side again. We're going to be looking for the appearance tab. Once you've clicked on appearance, scroll all the way to the bottom to the advanced tab, and we're looking for the option titled hardware acceleration. If this option is switched on, like mine is here, go over to the flicker switch and switch this to the off position. Go ahead and then press OK, Discord will then be restarted and hardware acceleration will then be disabled. We can then apply a very quick optimization which comes in the form of system maintenance. To do this, we're going to be navigating to the bottom left hand side, and this time we're going to be typing in %temp%, just like so, and pressing enter. Once you guys have done that, you'll then be met with inside of the app data local temp folder with inside of Windows, and this is basically the ultimate Windows dump. So depending on the age of your Windows installation, this folder can sometimes get to around about 80 plus gigabytes in size. So once inside of it, it's recommended to go all the way up to the top, highlight and drag all the way down to the bottom, right click and select delete. You'll then be met with this prompt found here. Simply click do this for all current items and hit skip, and keep doing that for every prompt that comes up. After doing that, the only files and folders remaining with inside of it were the only ones Windows was using. At this point, we can then go ahead to the top right hand side and select the X icon, and it's recommended to perform that maintenance step around about once, at least every 3 months. This now leads us onto the part of the video where we're going to be talking about GPU optimizations and updating your GPU drivers to ensure that you're getting the best FPS possible, especially given the latest Windows updates. Regardless of the age, make or model of the graphics card, there will be new drivers available for you. To find out which drivers you need to install, go ahead and right click on the desktop. You'll either be seeing the Nvidia control panel or the AMD Radeon settings panel. If you're not seeing either of these, or you're seeing Intel, that's absolutely fine. You can simply skip this step. Navigate into the description down below and click on the corresponding link for either Nvidia or AMD Radeon, depending on which one you're using. You'll then be brought to the links to download the latest drivers. For Nvidia users, it's incredibly simple to do. Go to the Geforce drivers tab found here, go to the automatic driver updates utility, select download now, download the program. Once the program has been downloaded, open up the program. It will then detect and install the latest graphics card driver for you and your machine and get you up and running. For you AMD Radeon users, it's a very similar process. Go to the provided link, go down to the auto detect and install Radeon graphics for Windows utility, click on download now. Once the program has been downloaded, once again you open up the program, you'll then detect, install and get you up and running on the latest optimized graphics card driver for your PC. We can then go ahead and actually optimize those drivers. This is incredibly safe, simple and easy to do. This does not void any warranties or will cause any issues, and every single person watching this video should do this. For these optimizations, we're going to be going inside of the FPS increase pack like so, going inside of the optimizations folder, and going inside of the GPU settings folder. With inside of it, you'll then click on the corresponding folder which matches your system specs. So for me, I'm running on Nvidia Geforce. You'll then be met with a ton of screenshots with inside of here, starting off with screenshot 1. And this will show you step by step all of the settings you need to apply and how to apply them very quickly and easily, so do follow along with those screenshots in your own time. We can then go ahead and apply the final and arguably most important optimization of the entire video. For this optimization, we're going to be going inside of the FPS increase pack one last time, going inside of the optimizations folder, and going for the ISLC folder found here and dragging this onto the desktop. Once you guys have done that, you'll then be seeing ISLC on the desktop, go inside of the folder, and you'll be met with the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner, or ISLC. At this point, you're probably wondering what this program is and what it does. This program is a very simple 2-in-1 program. The first part of the program will help keep a reserved pool of RAM in the background. It will also help clear out your standby list with inside of Windows to ensure that excess RAM is always available to the game application. This program actually features a program I've been recommending for years, which is the Timer Resolution program. This is a simple program that allows you to lower the amount of input latency between the operating system, hardware you have installed, and the game application itself. Having the lowest amount of input latency between all of those helps increase your overall FPS and will drastically help reduce input lag, leaving you with a much more snappier and responsive game. Simply go ahead and double click on the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner found here at the top and select yes. If the program doesn't automatically open up, take yourself to the bottom right hand side, go to the icon tray found here, then look for the green monitor found here and double click. Make sure that the options are available to be changed by going to the bottom right hand side, clicking on stop. For the first box on the left hand side, we're going to be setting a value of 1024. For the second box, we're then going to be setting this to half of our overall system memory. To see your total system memory, look at the top found here where it says total system memory and roughly half this number. So I'm going to put in a value of 16,000. If 16,000 is the value for you up here, you'll set this box down here to run about 8,000, and again, just half that value at the top. Once you guys have done that, go to the right hand side, click the option for enabled custom time resolution, go to the wanted time resolution box, delete all of the values within inside of here, and input a value of 0.50, then use the delete key to remove the other values. Once that's set up, go to the bottom right hand side to the ISLC polling rate, set this to 500 for good PCs, and for lower end PCs set this to 1000 or higher. I'm going to be going with 500. Then go to the bottom right hand side once again, click on start, click purge standby list, then go ahead and minimize the program, and you're good to go. All there is left to do now is to go into your preferred launcher, whether it be Steam, Epic Games, or another launcher, and boot into ARK. And there you guys have it. That is the 2020 Ultimate FPS Increase Guide for ARK. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video and are enjoying the results. And again, please leave your results, questions, queries, suggestions, or tips and tricks I might have missed with inside of this video in that comment section down below, as it is always fantastic. Please do leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. And as always guys, if you guys do enjoy my content, please do consider pressing that subscription button alongside the bell notification to be notified instantly of whenever a new video goes live on the channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video guys. I've been Panjano, and I'll see you in the next one.